Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Castlevania Season 4, Episode 5. So, last time we saw that Saint-Germain was back. But unfortunately, it seems like he's kind of lost his way. It seems like he's working for Varney. It seems like he's just willing to sacrifice a lot more for his goal than before. And I wouldn't say gone crazy, but he's definitely willing to go to bad places for this. And it's really disappointing and really sad because I really liked his character, and I liked that he did have kind of this moral center to him before. But it's not disappointing in terms of writing, just in terms of, like, I just don't like seeing his character like that. But we'll see how it goes. We also know that Trevor and Sypha are still in Targoviste, still just figuring out what they're going to do, basically, about all of this. I think it's been a little bit since we've seen Carmilla in them, so I don't know what's... I mean, last time we saw Hector was still, like, he made his hammer, and not much happened with them, but we saw that they're ready for... God, their names. Their names escape me. The couple, the lesbian vampires. I can't remember their names right now. But they're ready to come. They're Carmilla and them are ready to bring them back. But the couple are not really so sure about things anymore. They are starting to see that this is not really right, I guess you could say. So yeah, things are definitely happening. Isaac is on his way still. He's changing a lot too. So we're gonna have to see where this goes. I'm very interested to see, because we're at the halfway point with this episode of the season, and it's just like, I'm still wondering how they're going to close everything out with this season. They just keep bringing in more and more stuff, so we'll have to see, I guess. But enough talk. We're just going to get into this. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, a few different things were happening in this episode. So, first off, we have Hector and Lenore talking. And Lenore is clearly getting, like, fed up with what's going on with Carmilla as well. She's not agreeing with her plans, her ideas anymore. It seems like everyone's kind of turning against Carmilla, which I'm all good for. I think that's actually a fair idea to have for this. I think it will make it work a little better for defeating Carmilla. But we also see at the same time, Isaac is getting ready to invade and to attack Carmilla. So, don't know exactly where that's going to go, but that's going to get insane next episode for sure. If it is next episode, or maybe in a couple episodes. But, in the meantime, Alucard is leading all of these people to his castle, but, as we can see, Saint-Germain, rather, I pronounced that wrong, Saint-Germain is still plotting shit, and it's just like, oh, that's going to go into pretty intense confrontation, I feel. Um, and they're just dealing with some night creatures as they go along, and that's about it. They eventually reach the castle, and yeah, it seems at least most of the people made it there alive. At least one dog certainly didn't. And Trevor and Sypha are just trying to figure out what to do with all these people in Targovishta, and Sypha decides to take the lead on that as she notices all the mistakes they're making and where they're putting stuff. Like, oh, you can't put your latrines this close to your food and everything, you're going to get sick. And it's like, yeah, that's obvious, but I guess they're not really thinking about that for various reasons. And so she confronts Zamfir about it, and they start to work to get everything back to normal, but a night creature happens to attack. And although Sypha manages to kill it before she does, it attacks Zamfir and plants something on her. So that's interesting. I'm wondering what's going to happen in regards to that. So there's a bit of setup here for sure, and it's very clear some big shit's going to start going down in the second half of this season. And yeah, it's probably going to be pretty insane. I'm definitely interested to see where this goes, though. It's continuing to get really interesting, really good. But yeah, it's like, so we got Isaac who's going to be attacking Carmilla and them. So I guess there's going to be a big fight going on there. Alucard is going to have to deal with, I assume, Varney and all of them, while handling, protecting all these people, these, I guess you'd call them immigrants in a way. And Trevor and Sypha are dealing with everything that's happening in Targovishta. I'm starting to think that Trevor and Sypha are not going to reunite with Alucard this season, which means they're not going to reunite with Alucard because this is the final season, and although there's going to be a sequel series, it's probably not going to be the same, and obviously it's not going to focus on them, so, which really sucks because it's like that's the one thing I really want. Like, of all of this going on, I really want them to reunite. But I'm starting to think it's not going to happen. So at least we can see that Alucard seems to be forging a new romantic relationship with this leader of the people that he's bringing to his castle. And we find out in this episode that she is bi as well, having had relationships with both men and women. And so, yeah, more representation. Always cool. Yeah, it's a question of where things are going to go from here, because a lot of this was set up. There was a lot of great action and great stuff in this episode, but a lot of it was clearly just beginning to set up for the second half of this season. So we'll see. In the meantime, though, tell me what you thought of this episode down in the comments below, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.